Welcome to a superficial introduction to how to use EBSCOhost and the databases. Obviously, to begin, you're going to go to the John Tyler Community College webpage. Once there, you will click on Library. And once you're at the library, you're going to hit Online Databases. Now, the databases are a collection of scholarly articles, magazines, journals, newspaper articles rolled into a single database. And usually the databases revolve around a particular subject or area of studies. So for example, JSTOR is a brilliant humanities resource. However, the articles are a wee bit dense, so I don't advise using it unless you really want to, unless you're willing to engage in some very heavy reading. But EBSCOhost is a wonderful, wonderful source because it actually looks through a series of databases for information about your topics. So let's click on EBSCOhost. And usually I hit Select All because Select All pulls everything up, and it's, even though it says it might take a long time, it might have a slow response time, it usually doesn't. So let's hit Continue. Now let's say I'm studying how civilians affect marine behavior and morale, how the civilian population in certain war zones affect marine populations. So I'm going to type in Marines, and I'm going to type in civilians. I've already done this, obviously. And one thing you want to make sure you do is you want to hit full text, because if you don't hit full text, you might be bombarded with an array of abstracts and citations, and you can spend a great deal of time scouring through them to find a relevant full text article. So let's hit search. And you see how that connects your X and Y topic, since you had to have an X and a Y in your research paper. This makes it nice and easy to get information about your topics. So now we'll hit search, and let's see what happens. When soldiers kill civilians, that could be valid and reliable, or relevant. I mean, of course it's valid and reliable. It could be relevant, but let's see what else they have. The Ghost of Haditha, Marines simulate civilian evacuation. Oh, look, here we have protecting civilians takes toll on Marines. Now, this comes from a newspaper source, from the Toronto Star, but you could still use it if you wanted to. I'm going to hit HTML full text. And voila, here we have our article. Now, you can listen to it. You can listen to it in particular accents at various speeds. You won't find that with most articles, but for this one, obviously, you can. Now, let's say I don't have time to read it. I don't really want to copy and paste it onto a Word document. I can email it to myself by hitting the email button right here. And I'm going to use my JTCC address. You will probably use your BCCS address. So let's hit send. And then to cite it, simply hit the cite button, copy this, and paste it into a Word document for your works cited page. And I already have done that. Make sure though, however, that you indent the second line 5 spaces. So then I'm going to hit remove space. And that is a very, very superficial introduction on how to use databases and the benefits. If you have any questions, please email me.